to the national pledge. Every time we have allotted to every event or every activity here, we'll try and do our best to follow through with what we have stipulated. Please, the next slide. Okay, the national anthem.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
Thank you very much, Mr. Simeon. So we'll move to the next activity we have, and that will be, okay, and that will be most likely a safety moment. So please, everyone, mute your mic when you're not speaking so we can give the speaker audibility. And if you have any question or any comment, you raise your hand, and if he's taking comments, he will allow you give a comment. But if not, you can just use the chat button. If you are using the chat button and you're making a comment, please tag it C so we can note. And if it's a question you are directing to the speaker, please you just tag it Q so the moderator who is going to be moderating the session will also know that. Ensure you can still hear a fire alarm even with your headset on. Don't cover your 2 ears. If you are in an environment that is maybe a work environment, please be very alert and aware of the environment and stay safe. If you are driving, you might want to stay somewhere. If you want to listen to the whole session, you might want to just park at a safe place so you don't you don't cause a lot of distraction on the way. That will be all for the safety moment, and every other safety moment that applies to wherever you find yourself, please take note of that. So we'll be taking our opening remarks by the YP co-chair. Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the call. Please confirm you can hear me.
Loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Okay, so welcome you all to this month's Young Professionals Monthly Series for November. We're excited to have you join us for today's session on data-driven decisions, leveraging machine learning for operational excellence in oil and gas. As the industry continues to evolve, the ability for us to draw insights from data, becomes even more essential. So we don't just stick to the normal, going through our data. We need to, look for strategies to kind of draw better insights from our oil and gas data that are acquired to help us to make better decisions. So that's what today's discussion is all about. It's just basically going to help us to understand how machine learning is transforming our oil and gas operations, and how it's going to enhance efficiency and help us to make better and smarter decisions, across our value chain if we are able to, utilize this machine learning that is available to us. So our speaker is here. We are honored to have our speaker, Dr. Fatai, who is going to do justice to this topic and will guide us through, this forward-looking topic. And thank you all for being here. Let's settle in, let us engage and make the most of this learning opportunity. And I bet you that if you're on this call, it's not a waste of your time. You definitely get value for your time. So once again, welcome, and I wish us a happy session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, YP co-chair. Before you leave, please, you just take recognition of senior board members who are on the call. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much. On the call, we have board members. I can see our YP chair, Pauline Wagmaka. Thank you very much for joining. I don't see any other person at the moment, but as they come in, we'll continue to introduce them. So thank you very much. Carry on.
Yeah, thank you once again. So we'll move on to the next. Okay, I'll be introducing the moderator for the session today, and Gloria is a vibrant professional petroleum engineer who blends technical expertise with creativity and balance. So she's passionate about engineering that makes an impact, content creation that sparks joy, and yoga that keeps her centered. In her current role, Gloria ensures her company stays compliant with NUPRC, NMDPRA, and FMENV standards, including solid control and fluid management operations at the rig, bringing precision and purpose to every task. Beyond engineering, she's also an accomplished academic writer in the medical field, proving her versatility and drive for excellence. A proud recipient of the Oriental Energy Resources Limited and All-Round Development USA Scholarship Awards. Gloria continues to inspire others to find harmony between passion, purpose, and productivity. If your hands are not too busy, we just want to welcome our moderator with a digital clap as she takes the stage. Thank you. Over to you, Gloria.
Thank you so much, Edwin. Please confirm you all can hear me.
Loud and clear.
Hi, thank you. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this evening's monthly technical meeting. Our speaker for today is Dr. Fatah Anipowoche. Please, can we show his slide? Okay, thank you. So, Dr. Fatah is a lead research scientist at the Advanced Research Center in Saudi Aramco. He obtained his PhD degree in 2015 from the University of Malaysia, Sarawak. He also obtained his master's in 2009 from King Fahd University of Petroleum and Minerals, Saudi Arabia. Then he obtained his Bachelor's of Technology in 1999 from the Federal University of Technology, Akure, all in the field of computer science. His career interweaved the computational intelligence aspects of computer science with the reservoir characterization aspects of petroleum geology. And for over 12 years, Dr. Fatai has focused on geological and petroleum engineering workflows automation and application of machine learning and advanced data mining as well to increase accuracy, improve efficiency, and enhance productivity. He has published over 80 papers in reputable journals and conference proceedings. He has filed several patents and received a number of R&D awards, including the SPE Regional Service and Data Science and Engineering Analytics Award for the Middle East and North Africa region in 2021, as well as the Institute of Chemical Engineering Learning and Development Award for No-Code Machine Learning in 2024. Wow, a man that bagged so many awards. He is a member of SPE, EAGE, and AAPG. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dr. Fatai Anipowoche. Please, let's react with a clapping emoji. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. Please confirm that I am loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
Oh, beautiful. Once again, thank you so much. Let me start from the board members. Thank you very much. The section chair, the program, the YP program chair and the co-chair, the YP chair, and especially Mr. Shinyere, the technical team lead for the invitation, Edwin and his team for putting together this very interesting program, and of course, Gloria for the excellent introduction. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope I can share my screen. Okay. Okay, this is my slide. So, could you please confirm that you can see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. So let me put it in presentation mode and minimize this one. Okay. Thank you very much. So, as I have been introduced, the topic of discussion is data-driven decisions, how we can leverage machine learning to achieve operational excellence in oil and gas. And this is my agenda. I noticed the traction that this event has generated on the social media, and I become scared. I'm wondering if I can actually give you what you are really expecting from me, but I will try my best. I see a lot of likes and comments on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for the publicity. I know I want to assume that given the so much interest that the machine learning and the artificial intelligence field has generated so far, and the interest that people have in this, I want to assume that many of you will have, taken one course or the other online pertaining to either Python programming or machine learning, either with coding or with no coding, and so on. My focus today is not to attempt to repeat what you have learned online or what you are going to learn, but rather to touch on what I personally believe are missing in most of these courses, because the courses are so much focused on getting people very quickly to go on machine learning applications. Thereby, they miss a lot of the fundamentals. So I'm going to start my talk and with some of the overviews. I call them overviews because I want to give you guys a touch on most of the fundamental principles that you need to understand. Okay, and from the topic, I can identify three major components. We are looking at machine learning as a tool, and we are also looking at the oil and gas as a field of application. And what connects the two of them is the data that we want to use. So I will be touching on these three major important aspects of our business in oil and gas. So I will be touching on the very fundamental principles. Then I will go on to show us some of the trends and use cases that actually make the machine learning application in oil and gas to be attractive, to attract our interest. And of course, there is no technology without its own challenges. So I'm going to touch on some of the challenges. And of course, from every challenge, we have opportunities so that you guys will be ready to tackle this. I mean, we see these challenges as opportunities to contribute your home quota in the application of machine learning in the oil and gas industry. So, having said that, I want you to take a few seconds to watch this animation, and I would like someone or some of you to give me 2 words that you think describe what you are seeing in this animation. 2 words. Let me see if I can have a look at the chat box. Sorry, I have to stop sharing so that I can see the. So has anybody typed in anything? 2 words that you think capture this animation. Anybody to try? 5 seconds to go. Okay, I have someone putting something here. Innovation. Okay, that's one word, but it's fine. I like that. So innovation is good. I accept it. If you can make it 2 words, evolution, creativity. Okay, these are 2 different words. But again, I like that. Ability to simplify complex tasks. That's more than 2 words, but again, it's very good. Modern workspace. Okay, that's good. Automation. That's very good one. Enhance technology. So these are very good suggestions, and I like all of them. However, what I have in mind is digital transformation. You will see that the same way that our desktop has been transformed digitally over the years. Okay, um, the the calendar we used to have on our desk is now digital on our laptop or on our phones. What else? Okay, the telephone has somehow disappeared. Okay, the pen and paper have disappeared, and so on. So this kind of transformation that has entered into our life, our working life, our daily life, our living life, this is exactly what we expect to be happening in our various fields of operation. Okay, so and that is digital transformation. And let me take you a little into this concept. It is basically the integration of digital technologies into all areas of business, even including our personal lives. It changes how we operate, how we do our business, and how we deliver value to our companies. It's a kind of cultural change that requires organizations to continually challenge the status quo and to experiment new ideas and to get comfortable with failure. And there are 3 aspects of digital transformation. The first one is digitization. So you cannot achieve digital transformation without, first of all, going through digitization. And what does this imply? It simply implies, converting your analog data into a digitized format. Okay? Most business records are handwritten, even till now, or at most they are typed. And examples, we have them in drilling engineering, we have the drilling money reports. Okay? In geology, we have the geological core descriptions. In production engineering, we have the flow meter readings. All these ones, some of them are still handwritten till now, and some have even are just typed out. So converting all this from handwritten formats into formats that can be accessed digitally. Okay, and so all these documents will be scanned and stored. So instead of accessing them in files and cabinets, we have them as digital formats in drives and folders. So that finding and sharing them becomes much easier than when they are in analog format. After we have been able to digitize our data, then the next step is digitalization, okay, which is basically transforming the unstructured data into structured format. Okay? When we digitize our data, they become unstructured. They move from analog to digital. While in digital, they remain unstructured. And then we try to organize them into a structured format. It is also a way of utilizing digital or digitized data so that we can extract the information that are stored in them. And this is done by applying optical character reader and some text analytics to extract useful information out of them and to convert the qualitative data in them to quantitative labels, and basically to prepare this kind of data for machine learning applications. And the third pillar is actually we need a kind of executive or corporate support to bring the digitization and the digitalization processes to be able to achieve them effectively. Now, what are the goals of digital transformation? It enables organizations to succeed in the age that we are in now. And this leads to increases in employee productivity. It reduces cost of production, enhances safety, it saves a lot of time, it enhances ability to innovate and also improve collaboration. And all these come together to lead to high revenues for companies, to reduce costs, and of course to increase profit. So today in the industry, what do we have? The industry is facing a massive digital transformation process, and this is where all of us are required to contribute our home quota. And that is why this kind of event is very important. The energy is also facing a gradual transition to what is called energy mix, where greenhouse gases are gradually being reduced until they become zero, as is being planned. And to achieve this, beyond oil and gas, there have been focus on renewables, carbon capture, utilization and storage, hydrogen, ammonia, and other non-hydrocarbon resources. And the bottom line is that the oil and gas will remain the major energy source for decades to come, while in parallel, the industry is decarbonizing. So that is and there are various initiatives. Even if some people say, okay, what if we no more need oil and gas for power generation? We still need it for chemicals. We need chemicals everywhere in our life, in our offices, in our work. So what we have been talking about is the role of technology, taking AI or machine learning as a case study here. And the impact of technology on oil and gas business, as I mentioned just a slide away, is to improve operational efficiency, to provide real-time data, to increase revenue, to increase safety, and of course, to decrease risk of all our operations. Now, before going into the machine learning, which is one of the three major pillars of this talk, let's talk about the bigger umbrella, which is artificial intelligence. So, what is AI? There are so many definitions out there, and I'm sure if I ask any of you to give us what you know about it, I'm sure most of you will say very correct things about it. But to save time, this is just one of my favorite definitions. It is very short and very concise. It is the science and engineering of building or making intelligent systems. And these intelligent systems can come either in form of hardware, as we find in robots, it can come in form of softwares, or even both. Nowadays, we have very intelligent hardware components that are driven by intelligent software as well to make them more adaptive to their environment. So why is AI important today? Of course, it is one of the elements of the fourth industrial revolution. Okay, it's the future because there is no way we can escape it. Even though at the moment it is not, maybe it may not be giving us the best that we are expecting, but it is still work in progress, and for sure we cannot run away from it. It has become part of our work, it has become part of our life. So it is a serious business, okay? I used to say that, for the first time in my life, I witnessed, in one of the Middle East countries, a minister dedicated to artificial intelligence. Okay? In the same country, a university was established to focus mainly on artificial intelligence. So that means it's a serious business. And of course, it will determine leadership in technology and in the industry. Many of you, following the news, you will have seen the trade wars between the US and China, Japan, and other countries. Even the countries in the Middle East are not left out. Everybody is trying to, establish itself as a leader in artificial intelligence research and operation. This chart is very important, and I try to put it in all of my talks because there is so much confusion out there based on my personal observation, at conferences, in discussions, and so on. People confuse AI and machine learning a lot. I have been in conferences where people say, AI models, okay, AI machines, and so on. So I started that, okay, in every of my talk, I would need to, explain this, the main difference between AI and machine learning and the rest of the methods that can be used to implement machine learning, such as neural networks. I want all of us to see AI as that guy on top of an umbrella. So it is the CEO of all these technologies that we are talking about. When we say AI, artificial intelligence, we are actually referring to a wide range of technologies. So if you are not specific, then people should understand you as meaning all of them. But if your intention is to actually focus on one of them, then you have to be specific. So when you say AI, you are actually referring to one of what you refer to is your NLP, the natural language processing, which is now called LLM, large language models, or generative AI. This is the generative aspect of AI, where your ChatGPT comes in, your Google Gemini, your Claude, and so on. These are technologies that allow you to generate new content, generate videos, generate text, generate audios, and so on. Then we have expert systems. These are rule-based systems such that you give the machines a set of rules, okay? If this is the case, do this. If this is the case, and this is the case, do that. So, and the machines will follow those instructions to achieve exactly what you want them to achieve for you. And of course, AI includes robotics. And then the last one, as we have the generative aspect of AI at the beginning, we also have the computational aspect of AI. And this is where machine learning comes in. And to achieve machine learning effectively, then we have to pass through processes like knowledge discovery, pattern recognition, data mining. And that is when, after doing these three things, then we can effectively practice machine learning. And under machine learning, we have various methods that we can apply to achieve machine learning. Then we talk about neural networks, we talk about support vector machines, we talk about random forest, XGBoost, and so on. All these are methods that are used to implement machine learning. So if there is anything you take from this slide, it is just this one thing. Artificial intelligence, AI, is not the same as machine learning. AI is the superset, and machine learning is one of the elements under AI. That is it. That's the message I would like to pass here. Now, a little bit into what exactly is machine learning. In few slides away, we saw what is artificial intelligence. Now, going in deeper, what is machine learning? It is simply the method or the technology where computers are taught to do what humans do. And what do? We learn from experience. For example, if we want to predict whether it will rain tomorrow, what do we need? We need knowledge of what happened yesterday, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and so on. So if rain fell yesterday, then how was the weather? How hot was the sun? How windy? How humid, and so on. Then we can look at today with the highs of yesterday to determine whether it will rain tomorrow or not. This is what we humans do, and that is what we are trying to transfer to the computer. So these are methods that learn directly from data with no predetermined equation as a model. And the algorithms adaptively improve as we add more and more of good data. And they achieve the learning by finding patterns that are embedded in our data. And I would like to use this one to summarize. I know many of you have been taking courses in machine learning, and you probably know what I am displaying now on the screen. So machine learning has two major parts: supervised learning and unsupervised. When we say it is supervised, it means to build a model, you need a complete set of knowledge to be given to the machine to learn from. So you give the machine both the input and the output. This is called the complete information, the complete knowledge. From there, the algorithms that represent the machines, they will now make inference. They will, first of all, establish a mapping between the input data set and the target that we want to model in order to be ready for prediction. However, and this can appear in either regression or classification. Regression is when your target of modeling is composed of numerical data. Okay? You are predicting numbers, things like porosity, permeability, okay, pressure, production, volume, production capacity. All these are numbers. So when you are dealing with this kind of numbers as your target of modeling, it is called regression. However, if what you are modeling has to do with descriptions or qualitative attributes like high or low, maybe, for example, in porosity, you don't have interest in the exact numbers. All you care about is, am I having high porosity or low porosity? Am I having high production or low production or medium production? In that case, it is classification. Then the second part of machine learning is unsupervised, when you don't have access to the target values. Here, you are not modeling anything. Rather, you want to learn from your data. You want to have some natural groupings. You want to see what your data is telling you. So you group the data into some natural groupings based on their associations. And then from there, you want to infer what the groups might mean to you. So if you are, grouping some kind of geological data, then each group might give you an idea of the type of rocks that you are dealing with. So this is just an example. And for each of these applications, the clustering, the classification, the regression, you have a bunch of algorithms that you can apply to achieve any of them. The second thing I would like you guys to take from this talk today is the knowledge discovery process. This is very important. Taking a course on machine learning online is not the end of it. I have seen many people in conferences, they present their work, and I see that they are not following the standard procedure of applying machine learning. Very quickly, due to time constraints, the first thing you do is to define your objective. What exactly do you want to achieve? This is very important, because when you know what you want to achieve, then you will be able to know what kind of data you have to get. This is very important. So, problem understanding. Okay, defining your objective based on your understanding of the problem on ground, and from there you understand the types of data, the sources of data that you need to achieve that objective. So this is what is called the data selection here. And even after you identify your data, there are features coming from each type of data. You need to also select the features you want to use for your modeling. We call that feature selection. Sometimes it is assumed to be part of the data selection, as we have it here now. After that, you have to pre-process your data. You have to understand your data. Look at your data, visualize it. Okay? Do you need to do some cleaning? Are there invalid, entries? Are there errors in the reading? You have to look at your data, ensure that your data is of high quality. Then you might need to transform your data sometimes. And then the next step is to apply the necessary method based on your objective. Because sometimes your objective is just to, have some statistical understanding of your data. In that case, you look for the necessary statistics. Sometimes your objective is that your data is confusing, it is sitting there in the database, and people don't understand what the data is communicating. So you want to just visualize your data. You want people to see the data in different ways to enhance their understanding. Again, you look for the necessary or visuals to use. And if it is that you want to build a predictive model, you also use the appropriate method. All the methods are what you learn online. However, most courses do not treat the standard procedure of applying machine learning. Then the last step is very important. Evaluation. Evaluation. Very, very important. How do you conclude that you now have a good model? You have to evaluate. And since you have to evaluate, it means you don't have to build a single model. You have to use different algorithms, because the same algorithm will not give you the best result all the time, because data come in different shapes and in different levels of quality. So after evaluating and you say, yes, now I have achieved my objective, then we say that you have provided a new knowledge. Otherwise, you have the chance to go back at any point here, to go back to a previous step and try to redo what you have done. Maybe you haven't done them well enough, or you haven't, or you have missed some things out. So you have the chance to retrace your steps and try to go back to the previous steps. And the whole of the process in the previous slide is the main goal of the machine learning process. The main goal of following such a standard practice is to evolve an optimal model, okay, that does not underfit and that does not overfit. All these are the extremes that you can have in your machine learning modeling. You want to avoid underfitting, you want to avoid overfitting. And what are these? Very briefly, underfitting is when your model is not strong enough to handle your complex data. Very simple. Your model is too simplistic to handle the data complexity. That means your model doesn't have enough energy. So you have to increase the energy. You have to increase the parameters, okay, to match the energy in your model with the complexity in your data. However, on the other hand, you have overfitting when your model is too complicated for your simple data. Okay? Your model has too much energy for a very simple data. And the examples I give to, to explain these two extreme situations is that underfitting is when you are trying to kill an elephant with a pin. You want to kill an elephant with a pin. So the pin here is your model, and the elephant is your data. Okay? And then for overfitting, you are trying to kill a mosquito with a cluster bomb. Too much energy on a very simple problem. Okay? So the goal of machine learning is to have somewhere in between. Okay? Somewhere in between that will avoid both extremes. This is where your optimal model will be. So that is that. Then very quickly here, just for you to know that there is life beyond machine learning. This is just in case you meet any of these vocabularies elsewhere in your reading, in your online courses, in your discussions, and so on. What we have described so far, or what we have discussed so far, is machine learning. We also have hybrid learning. Very simple. This is when you bring together two or more existing algorithms. Okay? Each one is independent. Each one can stand alone, but you want to, integrate the best in them. You want one of them to overcome the weakness of the other one. So you combine them. So just like we have in agriculture, when you you hybridize two species to give you a new species that has the best qualities in the two component species. So, and we have examples of such algorithms in the machine learning community. We also have what is called ensemble learning. Ensemble learning. This is when you combine. It is similar to hybrid, but here, hybrid is sequential, okay? You combine them sequentially. Here, you combine them in parallel. And at the end of the day, they give you one consensus solution. One consensus solution. And there are examples of algorithms that behave in this way or that are based on this ensemble learning in the literature or in your courses. Examples of random forest, XGBoost, CatBoost, and so on. There are so many out there. We also have deep learning. I'm sure you must have been hearing about deep learning nowadays. Deep learning came around because of the complexity in our data, mainly to handle unstructured data. Earlier in my talk, if you remember, I mentioned, digitizing our data. So you have paper reports, then you scan them. They become digital format. Despite being in digital format, they are still considered unstructured because they are not arranged in rows and columns like we have in our Excel sheets. So they are considered unstructured. So deep learning algorithms are meant to handle unstructured data. For example, images, text, sound, okay, and so on, even videos. So, okay, and with an example of this is called a deep neural network, and we have deep neural network in deep learning, and we have what we call the shallow neural network in the machine learning domain.
Sausage. I made this whole sausage.
So this okay. Do you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So here, the inputs are images, as you can see. So a deep learning model is trained on thousands, millions, or even billions of images to be used to make new predictions of any object, as we can see here. Okay. So deep learning came around based on big data. So we should keep that in mind. Now, enough of the fundamentals. Let's now go into what I believe many of you have been waiting for. You know some of them. You have seen some of them in action in the industry, but just to present them to you again. So some of the successful use cases of machine learning in the oil and gas industry. Let me start from the world of geophysics, okay? Because in SPE, I know SPE brings together everyone that contributes in any way to the oil and gas industry, including geophysicists and geologists and engineers. So in geophysics, the workflows are being transformed, okay? Instead of the traditional geophysical data acquisition using geophones and those trucks, the same things have been done with drones nowadays. Even the algorithms to process the seismic data are being handled by intelligent algorithms. And of course, the interpretations also are being handled. Okay, so this is actually from a paper called One Step Closer to Fully Automated Fault Extraction in 3D Seismic Data. So machine learning is being used in seismic data acquisition, processing, and interpretation. Now let's move to geology. Geologists are well known for conducting field trips. Okay, they go to field trips, they study the outcrops, okay, and they try to develop analogs to link the analogs to productive zones in our reservoirs. Nowadays, drones are also used to map these outcrops, okay, using technologies such as photogrammetry. These data from drones are digitized to build, outcrop models. So instead of going to the field, the number of trips can reduce. The safety issues around field trips can reduce because now it's possible to have digital outcrops on our desktops. Instead of going to the field, you can actually do whatever you want to do. You can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can take measurements. You can even extract what is called virtual cores for deeper studies. So all these are being revolutionized with machine learning and with artificial intelligence in general. Still on geology, core samples that are manually or visually described by geologists is now being automated using advanced image processing and even deep learning algorithms to make sure they are automatically described without or with less human intervention. The same thing with the thin section analysis. Geologists look at the thin sections visually, okay, under the microscope, and then they do their interpretation based on that. Now, this workflow is being automated using a combination of advanced image processing with deep learning applications to give us an automated thin section analysis, which is not only faster, but it's actually more repeatable, more consistent, more accurate, of course. Okay? There are many other ones. You can use machine learning to actually populate limited data. For example, this is an example of the M component in Arshi equation, which is called cementation factor. Usually, just like other samples, the samples are limited. So they are the red dots you find in this plot. However, if you can use machine learning to create or to fill the gaps and create a log of these limited samples of data. The same thing, we can use machine learning applications to fill the gaps that we have in our logs. We know that sometimes logs are missing due to tool failure, wrong tool calibration, and so on. Again, we can use real-time data, okay, to predict certain rock properties or fluid properties that are not obtainable in real time. This is happening also in our industry. Again, there are so many out there: fault detection and diagnosis in chemical plants, logs interpretation, diagnosis of drilling problems, spill identification and remedy, enhanced oil recovery selection and design using machine learning. All this has been happening. There are papers online that you can look up and read more on how machine learning is revolutionizing oil and gas activities. Well stimulation, fluid properties prediction, and so on. There are many applications out there, and I'm sure if you type in Google, you see a lot of them. Now, as it is said, talk might be sweet, okay? Even though there are many successful use cases, it doesn't mean that there are no challenges pertaining to machine learning or AI in general as a tool, because I see them as a tool, and that's why I am emphasizing that they are just tools. Now, what are the challenges that we face from day to day in our machine learning applications? We know that machine learning requires substantial volume of data, which sometimes is not available. And I can even shock you with these statements. Sometimes you might think you have a lot of data. By the time you begin to do data cleaning, data checking, QC, you find that most of the data is actually trash. So machine learning requires substantial amount of data, and the learning process is a challenge. It requires a degree of expertise. Okay? Some people say, well, it's a black box. That is a challenge. And some people say that, well, when you are doing machine learning, you don't focus on the physics of the problem. Okay? And then sometimes some companies employ data scientists without having the domain knowledge. When I showed you the slide on knowledge discovery, you will recall that the very first step in machine learning application is the problem definition, the problem understanding, which will help you in setting your objective very clearly. If that is missing, then it's a problem. Apart from challenges in the machine learning application itself, we even have challenges with our data. Okay? Because without data, we cannot achieve anything. There are challenges with seismic data, issues with noise, okay? Low vertical resolution. We have issues with outcrop data, core data, okay? We have issues with lab measurements. There are few points, there are human errors, they are time consuming, even borehole images. They have issues with noise, low resolution. All these things are required to build machine learning algorithms. But when they have problems, when they have issues, then you won't have an optimal model. Okay? We also have issues even after acquiring our data. We still have issues with bias in our data. Either it is reporting bias, automation bias, selection bias, sampling bias, and so on. We also have bias in our algorithms. Okay? Are we sure we are using the best optimal parameters to build our model? Are we even sure we are using the best model in itself? In conferences, I have seen people using, presenting models, but you ask them, why are you using this particular one? Is it the best? Some answers are, I don't know. Well, I like this one, and this is not the best way to do machine learning. Part of the reality that we face in our data is that machine learning for example, for classification, requires that each classes are almost equally represented. But in reality, this is what we have. We usually have one class overshadowing the other classes. And this is called class imbalance in machine learning. For those of you who might have been taking some courses online, this is called class imbalance. And in one of my projects, I actually faced this challenge. It was about, I think, a grain size estimation. Grain size estimation. So the grain sizes are labeled from 1 to 9, and you can see that 3 of the grains are overshadowing the rest of them. The effect of this is that the model you build will be focusing on the high frequency labels only, thereby increasing the rate of misclassification in your model. Whereas machine learning is theoretically expecting this kind of data, almost equally represented. But in reality, we don't have this. This is a challenge. The same thing happens in regression. Our data sets are skewed, either skewed to the left or skewed to the right. Whereas machine learning algorithms are expecting, bell-shaped distribution like this. So in reality, we don't have this in most cases. So this is a challenge. Now, after experiencing all these challenges, we see a lot of opportunities for you guys, young professionals, to come into the industry to, tackle these challenges, to address them in order to reduce operational uncertainties, reduce human bias, errors, and these are the examples I have mentioned previously. Now, this slide is very important, and I'm close to the last slide now. This is very important. The question is, when exactly do we need machine learning? Some people have been saying, well, machine learning is like a magic wand. It must be embraced now everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Is that true? To me, the answer is no. You only use machine learning where it is required, where it is applicable. Okay? Of course, when we have a repetitive process or workflow, with clearly defined steps, that is a candidate for automation. This is clear. When safety is a concern, okay, we can bring in, a robot, we can bring in a drone, we can bring in, whatever we want to bring. Okay? When do we need machine learning? In fact, to be honest with you, any engineering is one of the fields that I believe could be difficult to embrace machine learning. And why is that? Engineering fields like drilling engineering, petroleum engineering, reservoir engineering, production engineering, they are based on equations that were derived. So when you have, a universally accepted equation, okay, for a relationship, I don't think you need machine learning here. And I used to give very simple example in this kind of discussion. The very simple equation in physics is that speed is equal to distance over time, right? Now, which simply means that you have a record of distances and times. You can easily calculate your speed, very easily. You don't need machine learning to say, okay, I have some data, my input data are speed, distance and time, and I want to use machine learning to predict speed. I will say no. I will say no, because you have a predetermined equation that you can use for that problem. The only exception is that if that equation was derived with too many assumptions that may not be realistic in real world, we can say, okay, those assumptions can actually cause bias So instead of using those equations, we can use machine learning, because in machine learning, it depends only on your data, and there are no biases, there are no assumptions, unless your data has assumptions built into them. Another exception is that, okay, you have those equations, fine, but if they are too complex, that you have to, as I said, make some assumptions to make them simpler, then you can use machine learning. Then when you have equations, but the equations are require different parameters in different situations. For example, if we have different equation to calculate speed for the North Pole and the South Pole, or different equation for the Middle East and Africa, then we can say, okay, let's leave aside all this equation and let's use machine learning. Again, when you want to have alternative workflows, not necessarily to, how do I say it? Not necessarily to remove existing workflows, but to enhance them or to find alternative to them, then you can use machine learning. Of course, one of the opportunities we have today that makes us to think of machine learning is the large amount of data we are getting today. Nowadays, we deal with massive amount of data. Most of our equations are based on linear relationships. That is based on what we can see. Okay? What we can see is that, okay, as we are growing older, our voice is becoming, deeper. Okay, this is a linear relationship. When the pressure is high, then we have high production. Okay? Linear relationship. But if we have some data and the relationships, the linear correlation is weak, then machine learning can come in order to help us to, extract some hidden patterns that, that can be useful beyond what we can see or what we can feel in the physical world. So, as a kind of conclusion, again, I have to thank the organizers of this program for creating this avenue for learning, because as young professionals, and I believe there are also students among you, you need both hard skills and soft skills. Hard skills like AI, machine learning, robotics, blockchains, deep learning, hybrid learning, ensemble learning, and also you need soft skills in order to be able to make your impact felt in your respective working environments by having what I call algorithmic thinking. Okay, be able to think out of the box. You should have problem solving skills in addition to whatever you are able to learn online. And of course, you need to be able to manage any project that is assigned to you. And what COVID-19 has taught us is resilience. We should be strong. We should be committed. In the face of challenges, we should be able to move forward and achieve whatever we want to achieve. And all these things are made possible by technology innovation. So I'll say at this point, thank you very much for listening. I will appreciate your questions. If you need any clarification, and in case you want to contact me beyond this room, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. That's my name. I'm also on ResearchGate. That's also my name there. And of course, if you want to send the regular email to me, you are also welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Please let's a round of applause for Dr. Fatai for that wonderful lecture. Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate this. You really broke down everything we need to know about machine learning. These are things that most of us will go online to learn. and we might not even get some of these little details that we need. In case you missed it, let me just give a summary. Dr. Fatai gave us a breakdown of machine learning. It discussed the difference between AI and machine learning. They are not the same thing. Please note that. It talked about digital transformation. Same way we as humans, we transform, we grow. Same goes to the digital path as well. It talked about challenges, the requirements for classification, the opportunities for machine learning, and also let us know that machine learning is not to be used everywhere. It stated where we need machine learning, and one of it is when safety is a concern. It talks about the main goal involved and to avoid underfishing and overfishing. And then for students and YPs, you need to have machine learning as one of the skills you need so that you can get a certification on that and knowledge on that if you're applying for a job. Thank you so much, Dr. Fatai. So we're going to entertain questions, but we're going to take 5 questions because of the time. So we're going to take 3 questions from the people who can raise their hands, and then if you are not in a place where you can unmute your mic, you can send your question, type it in the chat box, and I'll randomly pick 2 questions. So for now, if you have questions, please raise your hand and I'll pick 3 people. Olayemi Samuel, please let's hear your question.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Please confirm you can hear me.
We can
Yeah,
hear you.
very well.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Fatai, for this, I would say, an eye-opening session about AI, machine learning, and the rest. So my question it goes on to just around these tools used for digitization. You mentioned OCR, which is optical character recognition, or yeah. So then my challenge is OCR has been around for a long time, as far as I know. But then the challenge with using OCR uh, comes around maybe if you want to read tests that are not typically typed, or maybe from a scanned document, it struggles then. And for the fact that it has been around for a very long time, and now we're in an era where we have to deal with a lot of documents. Maybe I've not really come across a drilling document, but let's assume some part of it are to be handwritten. In order not to miss out from those information, how best, what other technology in terms of reading of those documents we can actually leverage on based on what we have these days, and the uncertainties with those documents in terms of being handwritten or the likes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. That's a good question. Yeah, you are right. OCR or algorithms based on OCR have certain limitations. Yeah, things are constantly changing. Some of the advances in this area will be something like OpenCV. They are being commonly used nowadays, and I believe as we speak, there will be new methods constantly coming out. So you just have to be on the lookout while you are using those that are commonly available, or those that you are used to. You should constantly be on the lookout to see whenever new algorithms come out. And this is happening a lot nowadays. So you have to keep yourself updated. But one of the commonest algorithms that seem to perform better than OCR is the OpenCV, for example. I hope that answers your question.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, sir.
Okay,
And
we have Fatia Yusuf. Please unmute and ask your question.
Yeah, hello. Please confirm you can hear me.
yeah,
Loud and clear.
Yeah, good evening. So my question is, when Dr. Fatai was mentioning the skills that we need, I'm seeing machine learning and the rest, but I could not see data analysis. Is it that data analysis is not that important again, or what? Yeah, that's my question.
oh, okay. Thank you for spotting that oversight. I would say I couldn't be too explicit on that. I just, put there few examples. But the other way around, it is not really an oversight as well, because when you talk about machine learning, it actually includes other things like data analytics, data science, data engineering. You do every one of these when you want to do machine learning. Be- because in machine learning, you work exclusively with data, right? And before you take your data from the source to your model, the gap in between could be as complex as what you may not be able to imagine. So, in order to move your data from the raw version to the refined version that your machine learning really needs, you, you may have to do all these things. You have to analyze your data. That's where data analysis comes in. You have to, uh, uh, you know, you may have to apply some science, some scientific or even engineering processes to transform your data from poor quality to high quality. So all these data science, data engineering, whatever you call them, they are all embedded in machine learning. So yeah, thank you for allowing me to clarify that.
Okay, thanks so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, sir. I can't say any more, so I'm going to read questions from the chat box. Okay, Shinere asks, would 4G inference system be classified as an expert system or computational intelligence?
Yeah, this is I would call it a very difficult question because as things are changing nowadays, people begin to classify and reclassify some of the existing algorithms. For fuzzy inference systems, such as fuzzy logic, type 1 fuzzy, type 2 fuzzy, and so on, they used to be put under expert systems. Okay? But nowadays, because the new versions of these fuzzy inference systems have been embedded with solvers and a lot of optimization is now happening in them. So with these, they are now being reclassified as computational intelligence. So now they are called machine learning algorithms. So it depends on where you stand, but I would like you to stand at the latest development, which is that fuzzy inference systems with embedded optimization algorithms, even with learning algorithms, they are now more of machine learning algorithms than expert systems. That's the way I will put it.
All right, thank you, sir. Shinere, I hope your question was answered. We have a question from Wilfred. Wilfred is asking, There are hybrid models that are actually hybrid model, but using physics-based model with physics equations and incorporating with machine learning as well, like the PINNS.
Yeah.
The physics-informed neural network, that's what it means,
Yeah.
and the physics-informed machine learning. But in regards, there is a slow fit of the industry to adopt them. We first saw in a report that over 95% of data is not being analyzed, utilized, and used. So Wilfred is asking, can machine learning and AI fill in this gap to provide more insights using the data?
My answer will be yes. And that is actually one of the opportunities of machine learning. Okay. Yes, we have a lot of data nowadays, but very few of them are being accessed, are being analyzed. And one of the reasons why we have this challenge is because we don't have the right algorithms to handle them. And that is part of the gap that machine learning is bringing in now. So from machine learning or with machine learning, we can analyze our data, we can apply data analysis, data science, data engineering, all this stuff. We can use them. Even we can use automated workflows to make these things faster and even easier. For example, one of my products in Aramco is actually to develop a platform that people can use to reduce the time that they spend on data preparation. There's a report as well, it's, it's similar to yours, that says that people spend up to 85% of their modeling time just to prepare the data. The rest is spent on the model building, model evaluation, and so on, or model interpretation. But 85% of the time is spent on preparing data. So the tool I developed was meant to reduce this time considerably, maybe from 85 to even 20%. That is my objective. So that all the things that we do manually in Excel, you read and you open an Excel file, there are some columns you don't need, you delete them, you highlight first and then delete. There are some rows, in most geological studies, you want to focus on certain formations or certain reservoirs. So the data you have before the reservoir and after, you don't need them. So you manually delete them. All these things can be done with just a click of a button. All this is are done. So what you should have done for 8 hours working day, you can achieve in like 5 minutes. So this is one of the opportunities that comes with machine learning application. And at the beginning of your question, can the PINN, the physics-informed neural networks, can they be seen as a kind of hybrid model? I would say yes, because in this case, the word hybrid can be interpreted in different ways. So yes, I would say in the context of that, yes, pains, physics-informed neural networks, which involves integrating machine learning principles with physics based methods. Yeah, it can qualify as hybrid model. I hope I answered your question.
I am really sure you answered the question, sir. Thank you so much. We have one more hand up, and I think that should be the last person. Gospel, please unmute and ask your question.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I believe you can hear me.
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Okay, so I'm asking questions, this question as a novice. I'm just thinking about it and I'm saying, okay, how is this going to be solved? Or if there's a room for that. So the question is, now we're talking about data. When you talk of trends and all of that, most times the numbers, the outcome most likely would tilt towards this part of numbers. But there are instances, maybe we have, let's say, 10 occurrences. One is different. 9, the outcome would most likely tweet to the 9 part. However, that one instance is very significant. I can give several examples where just one time that this happened, right? But, so I'm just saying, how do we cover that? How does, the whole data management, when you're putting it in consideration in developing a model and all of that, does it capture instances like this that may influence outcome, especially if those, sorry about the noise, especially once. I don't know if my question is clear. I hope you understand, yeah.
Yes, I think I understand. As I proceed to answer it, if you think I'm not addressing it, please let me know. I think you are right. Every part of your data is important as long as it addresses the physics of the problem. That's the first statement I would like to say. Now, to explain this further, that's why I begin to tell people nowadays that when you say you are looking for outliers in your data, be careful what you call outliers, because there are algorithms now, that you can use to flag or detect or even remove outliers automatically. But be careful what, because one of the definition of outlier is that a data point or a set of points that are far away from the majority of the data. Even though they are isolated or they are far away, it may not mean that they are outliers. It may mean that, yes, there are certain situations in the system that you are modeling that behaves like that. So if you remove those data points, you are actually depriving your model of that robustness that it needs to capture the patterns. So all patterns are important, even if they are in the minority. So leave them there and let them shape your model. However, if it is very clear that what is being seen as outlier is really an invalid data point, let me give you an example. I was working on a project that involves using surface drilling data, and I spotted a point on ROP. The value was like 2,500. Then I questioned it. I had to look for a drilling engineer to ask, excuse me, please, is it possible to drill at 2,500 feet per hour? And the person told me that that's not possible, even if you are drilling in the air or water. So this kind of outlier, yes, is very clear. It is an outlier because it is not possible to have that kind of occurrence. However, some outliers are actually real data points. They are sensible. They come from the physics of the problem. So this kind of so-called outliers must be left in the data and let them contribute to your model. I hope I addressed your question.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you so very much.
you're welcome.
Hi, thank you so much, Dr. Fatai, for the knowledge you have really imparted. We really appreciate you for coming, for giving us your time. Thank you so much. At this point, I will be handing over to the anchor.
Um, Before then, please, just 1 minute, please. I just want to encourage all of you. Many of you are very good in, doing re- research and attending international conferences. If by chance you find your way to Saudi Arabia, let me know. It will be a pleasure to meet any of you. There are conferences that hold in Saudi Arabia, like the IPTC, even though it goes around. For 2026 is holding in Dubai, but maybe the following year it might be come back come back to Saudi Arabia as it happened in 2022 and 2020. So let me know, give me a shout. Even if you're coming to Bahrain as well, Bahrain is just half an hour drive to my place here. I will be glad to meet any of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
I thought we were going to put our hands together for our wonderful speaker and facilitator, the person who took us through, and the opportunity to. So those who are having plans to maybe have a trip to Saudi Arabia anytime soon, you have somebody that you can call and reach out to. All right, so we'll proceed to the certificates, presentation of certificates. I'd like to call on our assistant or our YP co-chair to take that up. All right.
Yes, you. Not me. Then who? The witch.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I noticed that Iwoware, maybe her network has kicked her off. So I would love to call on Mr. Ekene. Okay, and Ekene is also not on the call. So thank you so much, sir, Dr. M. Fatai, for the opportunity for the opportunity you've given to us to for this power packed section. The chat box has been going wild, and everybody, I'm speaking on behalf of everybody. It has been an interactive one. The questions are from the participants will also show that they have been paying very close attention to what you have been saying so far. Thank you so much, and for the open call and open hands to welcome them to Saudi Arabia. Thank you so much, sir, for that opportunity. On behalf of SPE Port Harcourt section, we would like to present this token as an appreciation to you for accepting to be part of this monthly professional series. Thank you so much, sir. Dr. Fatai and Fosi. I'm so sorry if I murdered your surname.
That's
And
fine.
on the same, thank you. On the same note, I would also like to appreciate Gloria Asoko, one of us, for accepting to moderate this fantastic section. Thank you so much, Gloria. On behalf of SP Port Harcourt, I would love to present this token to you, Gloria Asoko. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is
Thank you so
beautiful.
much, sir.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, so thank you very much to our delectable speaker and our moderator, Gloria. So we'll call on the membership drive team. I don't know if Kimberly is on the call. If there's anyone from the membership team. Kimberly, please, if you're on the call, or is there anyone that is supposed to represent him from the membership team, please open your mic and speak. Okay, I'm not seeing anyone. Okay, I'll just take it up from here. So please, next slide. So SPE, which is Society of Petroleum Engineers, is a space for all of today's energy professionals, students, regardless of the experience or your course of study. So if you find yourself in the energy industry, you know that SPE is a place for you. So what are the benefits? You have a strong industry network, which gives you visibility. And also you have the opportunity to attend live technical events like the one we just held now. Many people pay to learn some of these things, but you get them at the platform of SP at zero cost. You also have enhanced industry network conferences, provide mentoring. It gives you mentors and also free discounted access to educational resources. So our members include, yes, even if you're a lawyer, yeah, I think we have a lawyer in SPE. I know of one. So even if you're a lawyer, accountant, as long as you're in the oil and gas or the energy industry, you're welcome to SPE. So we have recent graduate students, young professionals, and senior professionals. Whatever category you fall into this in, you can be a member of SPE. Next slide, please. Okay, so to join us, the renewal fee for those who are current members is just a token of 5,000, and for new registration, you have 69,000. The student membership is free. You get it at zero cost. You join us, and the benefit has already been covered by one of our sponsors, one of our partners companies, and also Port Harcourt section is not just any other section. It's the second largest in Nigeria, covering 4 states, 10 student chapters. And we are sure the numbers here, I'm sure by the time you join, we'll do more than these numbers. So you can go to this link, or you just use the QR code to renew your membership. Next slide. So we'll walk you through, this is our membership chair, the former immediate past YP chair, Emmanuel Agbo, and the membership co-chair. So if you have any question, you can just reach out to them to clarify. Next slide. So these are some of the activities that we do. We take care of our health. You can see us in the health fitness costume. You see us in the technical session. You see us going out for community service. You see SPE is not just internal. We also make sure our impact is felt in our society. And that's why we go out and go above and beyond our means to make sure we are able to reach and impact the society. So please, please, can someone confirm that I can be heard?
Now, yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I think Edwin is having challenges with his network. To take this section, I would love to call the WLP team. Patience Oko, please.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you very much. So I'll be announcing the emerging energy leads for the month of November, and we have 2 of them already displayed on the screen. The first is Kimberly Tangod, who is a seasoned well intervention engineer with over 3 years experience in the energy industry. Currently, he is the team lead for field services in Ganco Energy Services. And also currently, Kimberly is he serves as a team lead for SPE Section 103 YP membership. So where he drives more of the growth and development within the industry. So outside work, he's also a music enthusiast. And then quickly on to Precious Vincent. Precious Vincent is a production forecast and budget engineer at Total Energies, where she supports strategic decision making. Precious is a distinction graduate of MSc Petroleum Engineering and Project Development Programs at the Institute of Petroleum Studies, and also the best female student in chemical/petrochemical engineering at Rivers State University. Apart from that, she's also skilled with production planning tools like HiC, MATLAB. So feel free to be able to reach out to feel free to reach out to Precious. Feel free to reach out to Kimberly after now, because Precious is also she's a young professional social lead. Okay, so most of these are social events you see us do. Precious is the force behind it. So Precious and Tango, thank you so much, and we'll say congratulations for emerging as the emerging energy leads for the month of November. We thank you for your dedication and support to the progress of the SPE, section 103. And then we still call on others to emulate them, to volunteer more, do so much, so that we'll also look up to you as our emerging energy leads. And then you can get more details about them. Their posters will be on all our social media outlets. So get more details about them and reach out to them for one or two guides. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Patience. A round of applause for our emerging energy leaders. I'm sure if you clap well enough, probably you'll be considered for next month's draws. All right, so we'll move over to the next slide, please. We are moving straight to, okay, the YP Energy Trivia. Yes, so we are moving straight to the games. And those who were clapping, please, it's time to put your hands on your your phone. We want to know the keypad warriors now, not for typing and writing words, but for speed and accuracy in answering the questions. So I'm going to share my slides now. Just let me know when you can see them. Okay, please confirm you can see my screen. You can just do that by react.
Yes, I can.
Okay. So please, the instructions are very, very simple. Go to www.menti.com and enter the code below, or you could just scan the QR using your phone and we'll be ready to go. So once we have a number of persons, we'll begin the quiz. So it's about speed and accuracy. And you cannot be accurate if you don't know SP, if you've not been listening to the session, and if you don't, pay attention to the opportunities and the, activities in the YP section. So let's just look through. I see 10 persons already. Okay. So let's make it 15, 11, 12. The top three will share a prize. There's a prize pool for the top three. And probably those who are consistently at the top, we might just decide that you've been faithful to the technical events over the course of 6 months. And to next month, which is December, we'll do something bigger and more inviting. 16 persons. Can we make it 20 in the next 1 minute? So the quiz is not going to take time. Questions that we all know. Like I said, if you listen to the session, if you've been paying keen attention to the section, you should be able to overcome the questions. Okay, I see 16 persons. I think we'll just go ahead. If you have an issue signing up or getting to these sites, please you can react so we can wait for you. Want to know that everyone has been given a fair opportunity. Okay. Since there's no one who has raised hand, or we'll proceed with the questions. Yeah. "17 people it is. So question 1 out of 9. Yeah, 9 questions. 13 players are ready to go, and let's go. Remember I said the faster you answer. The process of converting analog data to digital data is called. Okay. Okay. 3 people got that. That was a good one. Digital transformation is not the correct answer. The process of converting is digitization. Those who went for digitalization, sorry about that. Just pay attention to the questions. Okay. We have 3 persons correct on the leaderboard. Next question. Okay, 17 players now. Oh, okay, interesting. SPE is present in how many continents of the world? How many continents does SPE have presence? 5, 4, 6, 7. If you were at our last event, you would know the answer to this. The correct answer is 6. Good try, good try. Yeah, SPE is present in Africa, Asia, Americas, not in Antarctica. That's the only continent that you don't have SPE. So, okay, the third question, 16 players, 1 dropped out. Okay. Okay, get a question. Which of the following is not a benefit of digitalization? Increase efficiency, increase revenue, increase risk, increase safety. Which of them is not a benefit? Increase risk. I think most people got this correctly. It shows keen attention to the questions and to the session. Next question. Anything can still happen in the leaderboard. In what year did Saudi Aramco and the Saudi Arabian government agree on the 50-50 deal? In what year? Many of us might not know, but I think since our speaker is from Saudi Aramco, I decided to add one question. Wow, very many people feel that. I chose 1973 and 1977 because of the war crisis, and we fell for it. So let's see the leaderboard. Tom is rising. Wow. Wow, Tom is the fastest and he's still not in the top 3. Okay. Now, this leaderboard can change, so don't give up. Yeah, so many people have. Question 5. Mr. Fatai received the SP Technical Service Award in what year? If you listen to when his bio was being read, you would know the answer to this question. So these are for the early birds, those who came on time. 2021 is correct. Congratulations to those who got it. And we have 6. This is the 6th question. So what is the affiliation of our speaker for today? I guess it's more like a bonus, but I'm sure some people will still feel this. Like a bonus, like I said, but some people might still not get it correctly. I thought as much. Saudi Aramco is the affiliation. Saudi Arabia is the country where Saudi Aramco is located, and it's not correct. Pay attention to details, our advice. Don't be in too much of a hurry. Which of the following is a machine learning unsupervised learning technique? Unsupervised. A, classification. B, clustering. C, regression. D, Halliburton. Clustering is the correct answer. Congratulations to those who got it. Regression is a supervised learning method. Machine learning, yeah. And the leaderboard, there's a lot of offset that is going to happen. Okay. Pingu. Okay. Question 8 out of 9. You have 2 more questions remaining. Let's see how it goes. Artificial intelligence technology is a part of which revolution? Our speaker mentioned this. Is it the 3rd revolution, the 4th revolution, the 5th revolution? Which of the revolutions is the artificial intelligence a part of? 4th revolution is correct. Those who chose 5th, there's no 5th revolution yet. And the 3rd revolution was the computer and yeah, everything we know today. And the last question for today, if you're in the leaderboard, please try to stay there. 16 players. Okay, 1, 2. Which company hosted the last technical session organized by SPE Port Harcourt section? A, Shell. B, Total. C, Seplat. D, Renaissance. Okay, everyone has voted, and the result, Renaissance, is correct. So that's why it's important to follow our events, and so you don't get lost in. Renaissance is the correct answer. So to the final leaderboard, we have, okay. Pingu is the winner. Congratulations. Check the fastest. He was fast, but his accuracy could not bail him out. Just 9 points. These are hands. Okay, we'll just, the winners of this particular quiz, just reach out so you can get your rewards. Thank you very much. So we'll move over to the final. Please, Mr. Simeon, you can share your screen once again. So I'll just give us information on our upcoming events, and then we'll be off for today. We're almost done. Please don't be in a hurry to go. Mr. Simeon.
Yes, I think let's just snap the pictures first before we just.
Okay. All right. That's
Yeah.
very good. That's
Okay.
very good.
If we
So
can turn on video, so snap a picture first.
Okay.
Okay, I can see some videos coming up, and I can see some of the face behind the name. I can't relate. Patience Ogo. I'm seeing someone else. Hey, okay. So I'm going to say SP from here. Then you give the normal slogan, solutions, people, energy from here, and with the thumbs up. Now snap the picture. So SPE. Okay, that's good. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. What are you doing? Over to you.
All right. Thank you. I can see now. I was waiting for it to come up. So next slide, you just give us our information. Okay, we are having an Ankara night out. Yes, the social lead who just won the award is about to thrill us again on the 29th of November. So the time is 4 p.m. Please do well to register for the event. If you have a traditional wear that you've not been wearing out, it's time for you to showcase yourself. So yeah, thank you very much, Precious. So another one we have is the 3 days process simulation event. This registration has been ongoing. I don't know if it's still up, but if you still wish to, okay, there is also a no-code. That's an information for those who need it. There's also a no-code platform where you implement ML without writing code. So you can look at the chat. Speaker has not left. Can see the dedication. It's still giving information, giving out knowledge. So okay, thank you. It's still up. Okay, so you just register for the event, and you'll be good to go. So the next slide.
Okay, sorry, Edwin. For the technical events, the registration is not up. It was posted on the YP General group for those interested to indicate interest, and the first 50 has been picked, and the process has already started. So,
Oh, wow.
but I think Precious was referring to the Ankara night, that the registration is going to be posted this night or tomorrow on the YP General group. So anticipate. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for that. So the process simulation has begun its process. So if you'd not joined the process as at when the process was open, your process has been processed. So next slide, please. Thank you. Someone said he's not in the group. I think this person is not a member. Please reach out to okay, one of the admins will just reach out to you so you can be a member and join the group. So this is fundamentals of process safety and asset integrity management. So scheduled to hold on the 27th to 28th of November. And it's a physical event. or more of an hybrid event, and to be holding physically at Somitel Hotel. If you don't know the location, it's just across, it's around Transamadi off Peter Odili Road. If you need clarity on the location, you can reach out to any of our team leads to give you this location. Please do well to join this event. They are not just for us to be there, but we get a lot of knowledge, we learn, we meet people, we network, and we also build competence around our specialties in the industry. Next slide, please. All right, so if you've not followed us on our social media platforms, please do well to do follow us now. SPEPHC.com is our website, and we have a Society of Petroleum Engineers Port Harcourt section for Facebook, SP Port Harcourt section LinkedIn, SPPHCYP on Instagram, and SPPHC103 at X, SPE Port Harcourt YPs on TikTok. Please do well to follow our social media handles. We want to get comments from you, we want to get feedback from this session. Post all the things you've learned, make a post on LinkedIn, tag us, tag our speaker, Mr. Dr. Anifoshi. I'm sure he wants to see the things that you have, he has taught you. So closing remarks will be done by our assistant YP team lead, and he will come up right now. Thank you everyone for participating in the session this evening. It was a delight having you around. I learned a lot. I'm sure you learned a lot. And all the things we have learned is one thing for us to get the learnings, another thing for us to implement them wherever we find ourselves. So don't just let the learning stop here. Take it to another level. Reach out to people who are experts. If you want to pursue a career in machine learning, trust me, you have to be on your toes because it's an industry that is ever evolving. You don't want to stop where it's not like maybe you just studied, maybe I don't want to mention any course, but if you study something 10 years ago, some courses, what they did 10 years is still what's happening this year. What happened in machine learning last month might have changed, just like our speaker rightly said. He said there's an evolution of algorithms. So you will need to be on your toes to keep up with the latest trends in the industry. If you have questions, our speaker gave us his contact details. Reach out to him, ask more questions, and he would love to reach out to you. Thank you very much for coming around. Have a wonderful evening, and the next slide. Also have a wonderful weekend. Yeah. National pledge. So we are going to recite this pledge. We are going to recite this pledge together at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I pledge to Nigeria,
my country,
to be faithful, loyal, and honest.
To serve with all my strength, to defend her unity and uphold her honor and glory. So help me God.
All right. Thank you very much for coming around. Next slide is a thank you slide. Please, next time you are coming, do well to inform your colleague, inform your coworkers, and all right. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening. Have a good weekend, and enjoy your day.